this is who Amanda is. I have to brag on you for a couple of minutes. So I don't have a bio on Amanda sitting in front of me. I'm just telling you guys how I see her through my lens as we've gotten to know each other. She is a content creator extraordinaire. She is a total comedian, and I want to talk to her about that. She's a model. She's an actress. She is a rock star mega influencer. And I can't wait for you to get to spend a half hour with her today. So welcome, Amanda Cerny.
Thanks. That's like the best intro ever. So
thank you. Okay, I got to tell people how we met. So yes, we were actually on a panel together 2 years ago. And I can remember I was sitting up on stage and I'm already on stage. They're doing the big intro for Amanda here. She's got she's one of the top 100 accounts on Instagram, everybody, in case you don't already know, but all of you pretty much already know. So I'm sitting on stage and here comes this spectacular woman walking straight down the aisle to join us on stage. And I thought, you know, what's so funny is, and I want to talk about this, you can look at Amanda, she's stunning. Aww. And I suspect often underestimated. Everybody goes, oh yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah. What I'm going to tell you is she busts her ass creating the life that she wants for herself and her future. And I had in the moment, I had 2 words that came to mind as she was walking. I was thinking, watch this. And she took the stage and slammed it down, which was awesome. And then we've kept in touch since then. So those are some of my brags and how we've gotten to know each other over the course of the years. But I want to dive right in.
I mean, first off, before you go into me, just for people that came from my channel that don't know about you yet, incredible entrepreneur, the fact that you were able to build $1 billion company and preaching for women to be on top in every sense. You know, it's incredible. And you actually got your company back too. You sold it for $1 billion and they weren't doing the right thing with it. So you got it back and you kept that $1 billion and now you're still in charge of the entire company. You're a legend. So I'm just trying to be like
so
you.
Sweet. Money where my mouth is. For those who don't follow me, I invest that money into other women who are disrupting in so many ways and who are overlooked, you know, by the system, at least the financial system today, that doesn't give a lot of money to women, which is a bad bet. So I'm making good bets. Okay. So top 100 account on Instagram, this, you know, little platform that we're on here. You have is it 8 million followers at this point on TikTok?
Yeah, I think 7.9, so almost 8.
8 million. Yeah. I'm rounded up. It'll be there tomorrow. So 8 million followers. She was famous on Vine. I want you to do this story, but first, is there a favorite platform for you?
I mean, I love Instagram just because, you know, it's my biggest platform. So obviously it's my attention. Yeah. But I have fun creating for it. I can do short form videos and people enjoy them. And now with IGTV, I can do long form videos too. So it's a lot of fun for me and it gives me variety and also stories. I can share more into my life as well and do more improv things. So that's fun. But I've been enjoying TikTok too. I started off slow on it. I had it since it was Musical.ly and it was I just try to be on everything and just create for content that kind of that culture enjoys. So for me, for TikTok, it's super just light, easy. Pick up your phone, do 1 take, 2 takes, whatever, and post it and have fun with it. So that's super awesome. There's different platforms for different things.
Okay, you might have to teach me how to do that.
Are you on TikTok yet?
No, it's all I can do to pin a comment. I'm going to get there. You're going to teach me. This is my mentor, people. She was nominated for a People's Choice Award. Tell me what that was like.
It was cool. I didn't win it, but
getting that you're nominated, that's a huge deal. What is it like when you get that news?
It's exciting. It shows because a lot of times when you're creating or you're working on a project, you know this, you're working on it for yourself and you're putting it out there and you're all right, I enjoy it and move on to the next thing. Yeah. So it's just keep going and keep growing. But when people want to stop and celebrate certain things, it's good to do, but it's really hard for me to do. I'm all right, cool. Next. And over here, keep going. Yeah. So.
This is Amanda. She's what is it? I'm going to go conquer the next frontier. Okay. So, just how did this start? like what motivated you to do this? How did you get to this place? And then really like for the group watching, like what are some of your secrets and your tips that you might give for social?
Well, I started doing it with Vine, the 6-second videos and 6.5-second videos.
Yeah.
And I mostly used Vine just so I can learn how to edit and just play around, because I wanted to create a reel for myself to do more acting and get into movies, because that's like the whole reason I was in LA.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to get management agent for acting because I didn't have a reel. So I'm like, what comes first? So I started doing just collaborations in YouTube, but I didn't understand the production or the editing part of it. And this was like in 2012. And then I was like, all right, this new app called Vine, I'm just gonna do these 6-second easygoing videos and just learn how to tell stories through videos. And that's kind of what I used it for, and my content kept getting better and better. And as I was improving, I was getting more and more views on my content, which inspired me to study more on editing and writing, especially in comedy. And I chose comedy mainly because I saw it as a great way to differentiate myself from being a model to just really focusing on comedy, and so people could see me in a different light too. And luckily I was like surrounded by comedians, so that kind of like rubbed off on me too. And I've always been like goofy and stuff growing up, but there's really like, I don't know, there's a lot that goes into comedy, timing and everything. So there was a lot to learn and a lot to better myself on, and I'm still doing it every day. And it's better and better. Like I'll look at my content from a year ago and be like, and look at it from like 3 years ago and be like, oh my God. So that's a good sign. But
that's all of us, right? We look back and we're like, whether it be the haircut or the whatever, you're like, what was I thinking?
It's so bad.
So, okay, like, is your family funny? Like, was this from when you were little, or are you a student of it? Like, have you really learned it? And how do you, like, have you learned it by people that you're surrounded with, or classes, or online? Like, I'm curious.
I think I've always had a bit of self-deprecating comedy that I've always done. I have 2 sisters, and growing up with sisters, like, you just rip each other apart. So it's like, it's fun, and it's like all in good spirit too. So I think I kind of like grew up with a little bit of it, but I definitely taught myself a lot, learned a lot. I've been taking like improv classes and at UCB and just studying more comedic acting. But something naturally I kind of always had was just the comedic timing. Yeah, the hardest part.
You know what I would say it is too? Like, I don't know, just having gotten to know you, it's bravery. Because I think like being able to be self-deprecating, and like you guys watch Amanda's videos. If you don't, you're missing out. You're going to start watching Amanda's videos. Like, she's just willing to put it out there and, you know, to make fun of herself and everything else. And I think that's a real, I think the underpinning of that is courage, personally. Because we're also worried what everybody thinks, and that's like a mark of difference for you. And I think really part of the reason that you're so successful in this.
I think that says a lot about like even yourself, because so many people have incredible ideas that they're really excited about, and they start working on it, but then they get scared, and it like prevents them from succeeding or going towards their goal of what they ultimately want to do. And I have a lot of friends too that are so funny, so creative, they write the best stuff, and I'm like, okay, go shoot it. And then they just don't think the edit's good enough, so they never post it. I'm like, this is the internet. You just gotta put it out there, and people are gonna like enjoy it because they consume it so quickly. So just go for it. And then if you mess up, just look at the notes and then fix it for the next one. It's like,
do you ever get into that headspace? Like, do you ever get into that like right before you post it? Like, do you get there? And if you do, like, how do you talk yourself out of it?
Yeah, I do all the time. I mean, I get to a point where I don't even care like what time I'm posting as much anymore. I'm not, just because I'm posting all the time. And if I put all that, like make it that a stress, I'm just gonna not be as creative as I should be. So I try to be as lenient with myself as I can. And I'm even like behind my phone right now is my computer, and I'm editing right now too. But even with this, like, I'm just doing it myself. I know the color correction could be better. I know certain things could be better, but there's just like, I can outsource different things. But I wanted to edit this specific video because sometimes with editors, like, I'll have more notes that'll take me more time to give notes than just doing it myself.
Just do it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like time management too. Like, I know like this edit will take me less time than giving notes in the back and forth. So I'm just going to edit this and sacrifice the color correction a little bit because that's not what I do. Yeah. So then I'm going to just post that and get it live right away as soon as I finish editing this and not worry about it. And even there's like in one of these clips, we had a mess up because we have no videographer right now. We're in quarantine.
Yes.
So it's Johannes and I filming my boyfriend.
That's great.
And he left his jacket on the back of my close-ups. So the jacket he's wearing is behind me the whole time. And I'm like, whatever. Like, it's a easygoing video, social media, just put it up. Like, yeah. And then sometimes like I'll do bigger productions where I do pay more attention to detail. It's just like I kind of categorize things and I make it so everything has to be absolutely perfect. I'm never gonna post. Yeah. Like it's gonna take too long.
Is that like I'm hearing a theme here, which is I think so many people who watch this go, okay, like Amanda has figured it out. How do I build community online? And I think what you're saying is like, you just got to go all in and go fast.
Yeah.
Right? Is that fair? Because I mean, it sounds like you're not torturing yourself. You know, people get to a science of it. Like, is there the best time to post? Is there the da-da-da? And I think they might overthink it, but am I wrong? Or is that like an accurate reflection of how you see it?
Yeah, that's right. But it also depends because I'm not super, I can't be like that because I'm dishing out content everywhere and I just can't like slow it down like that, especially right now, like when all the jobs are like put on me, especially for videographer and you know,
like, I'm wearing the hat, like changing the hat every 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And like for certain projects, you can put more time into, slow it down. Like if I'm working on, you know, traditional film and TV for streaming platforms, doing a production like that, I'll have different people to help me with different things and I'll spend time perfecting my area of what I'm working on. But I guess it's like what I'm trying to say, I guess for social media creators and people who are doing it every single day, unless your fan base is used to just you putting out one video a week, then you can take the time and make it perfect. But a lot of social media creators, the ones who are successful, are putting out content every single day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. So it's a lot of stuff and content is king and you still want enjoyable content. I'm not going to post a picture of grapes and be like, there we go. Like that's my content for the day. It's like still make it good, but don't kill yourself over it. And then for the projects that need that attention to detail, like that's when you clear your schedule and give that full focus and you're not stressing yourself out. So the whole thing with me is stress and also making sure I'm productive by not overthinking things. And I think that's the thing, is overthinking.
Yep. I agree. I think that, I mean, that holds all of us back from when it's go time. If we're sitting there just like, we can go to analysis paralysis, right? Like you're just worried on every single thing. Okay. So I don't even know how you do this, but like, how do you come up with the content? What is the creative process? And actually, I even want to talk a little bit about you and Johannes. You have such a like lovely relationship by, you know, what everybody's watching. Like, I'd love to just talk about the partnership and how you guys create together.
Yeah, it's all an act. We're not really together. So
imagine. No one tell him.
No, it kind of happened. Our relationship happened organically. We were friends first, and we lived in the same building, this building called 1600 Vine, ironically.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a ton of people, by the way, in comments saying, like, she's been my crush since Vine.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Vine days. That's so crazy. It's so long ago now. Time really flies. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all lived in this building, and it was the top creators all living in the 1600 Vine building. And that was just the street name. It was just ironic. But my best friend lived in the building, and I moved in because I lived by the Grove, which was 3 miles away.
Yep.
And it just took like 30 minutes to get to 1600 Vine. So I'm like, I'm going to save my time and just move into that building since I'm going back and forth every single day. So I moved in there, and it was basically like a production house. But when I was in the building, I always used the gym, and Johannes was always in the gym because he does personal training, and he did acting too. But his main thing is personal training now, and he's like obsessed with it. Yes. So every time I would be in the gym, I would see him, and I'd be like, But I had a boyfriend at the time, so I was like,
I didn't know that part of the story. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was a great girlfriend, always a good girlfriend. But then when we were in the gym, like he introduced himself and was just super polite. And I was like, oh, this is like, it'd be good for some of my videos, because I had like a video idea to put him in. And then we just became good friends, and I kept putting him in different videos, and he was working on his acting career as well as his personal training and starting to get into social media more. Yeah. And he knew different influencers in the building as well, and was doing collaborations with them also. And then my boyfriend and I broke up, and then Johannes was like, swoop.
That's great. That's awesome. You guys do, you do like clearly have fun together. Okay. So total, like, I'm turning right or left, whatever way that is, as you guys are seeing it. How do couples survive in quarantine? How are you guys doing? I have to just hit on that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it can be stressful sometimes, any relationship, especially like right now we're in our condo in Miami, and it's like we're always around each other, but we're staying productive. Like right now he's in the other room reading a book and also like taking notes and has his headphones on, like he's in his own world right now, and I'm just like running around the living room and just doing all this stuff and doing like dance videos. I just did like Jamaican dance tutorial. But you can butt heads for sure. Like at certain points it just gets, I think with anybody, you're like, okay, give me my space for a second. I think that space is the most important thing, and just being more understanding of each other. Also, if somebody has like different habits that start to annoy you, just try to like just count back and just try to like understand you're not perfect either. Yeah, and then also just going into like communication. That is the most important thing in any relationship.
No doubt. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you know that I have to do market research on sex. So more or less in quarantine, that is one of my questions. What do you think? It will bode well for couples or badly for couples? No, you don't have to have a personal comment, just a global opinion on what you think is going to happen.
I think, like you mean the outcome? Well, there's two ways to think about this, because this sex could be more, but then the relationships can still end because they just drove each other crazy and they just redeemed themselves through sex, and it just didn't help emotionally. So then it's just like done. I think sex is more. It's definitely an activity, some physical activity, a great exercise. Was it 500 calories?
So many health benefits. Don't get me started. Yeah.
And it relieves stress, and it also is like, makeup sex is a great thing sometimes too, and it just makes you forget all this stupid stuff that you were even like, why are you fighting about just, I don't know, a smudge on the mirror? Like, relax. Like, there's so much more in life. But
just so your followers don't think like, why did she just say that? Just so you guys know, the company that Amanda was talking about, I've built and sold a couple, but the one I'm best known for got what the media calls female Viagra, approved by the FDA. So really putting women on top for real in so many ways. And it's been like, I just have been fascinated with the business, because the one thing that was giving toilet paper a run for scarcity was condoms. At the beginning, and yet you're seeing, like, out of China, who's so far ahead of us, these divorce rates. So it's like very interesting, and I think we sort of always make a joke about sex. It's how we all communicate about it, but I think it's really real. Like right now, behind closed doors with couples, especially like if they're struggling in that department. So I'm asking everybody, all the women on top I'm talking to, like, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this? Okay, so in January of this year, I'm watching the Super Bowl. And I scream out loud when Amanda is in one of the commercials. So talk to everybody about, like, how do you get a Super Bowl commercial? What was that like? That was your first Super Bowl commercial, yes?
Yeah, no, and I was super excited because as a vegan, I eat hummus all the time.
Yes.
So it was like the perfect one for me, super
That's
organic.
awesome.
And it was a lot of fun. They let me be myself in it. It was actually really easy to shoot. I mean, because we had like Ric Flair in the commercial also, which was really cool.
That's so
and
cool.
my phone blew up. I'm like,
Yes.
I've done so many different things. And a Super Bowl commercial, everybody's like freaking out over. So
I know.
like,
I'm one of them. I was like, holy shit, I'm texting Amanda. I can't believe I just saw you on here. It's so great.
I love it, though. It made me feel good.
Who were remind me some of the other people. I'm only fixated on you, but that was like an all-star lineup in that commercial.
Yeah, they had a Scary, I don't remember her name, but Scary Spice was in it.
Yeah,
from Spice Girls. They had a lot of nostalgia in it too. And then they had Charli D'Amelio from TikTok. She's like the #1 TikToker right now. So they got like all different cultures kind of put in there. So there was something for everybody, which was cool.
That's really cool. Okay. I've got so many questions. I'm moving myself on. One of them is like this is your lane. Who's somebody you're watching right now that we probably don't know about, but we should be watching? Like, is there any up and comer in this space?
Well, I think there's a ton on TikTok right now that I've noticed. I mean, who I follow on Instagram is who I've been following forever, and like all of them. I think people are pretty familiar with who I follow on here. And there's a lot of great creators, but
any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, Cindy.
Oh, that's great. That's
I mean, hey, people can learn a lot from you. I learn a lot from you, so you guys need to follow her. If you're not already, we're on your live stream, so. But my friend King Bat, she's hilarious. He's so funny. He's doing a lot of Netflix stuff, but is always, and he's, he teaches me to just post stuff. Like, he's a great example of posting all the time. Yep. But also, like, I'm horrible with names, but on TikTok, I discover so many different people on the For You page, and there's some really creative people out there just doing it differently that I wish I had their names, but I don't. But I follow some of them, so if you're on TikTok, just go and see who I follow. But some really different people that are doing it like music video style, just their their transitions are awesome, their storytelling's really good, and that's kind of what I look for and I like.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm watching people who are all your fans from outside of the U.S. Big fan, big fan, big fan. Somebody just said, have you ever been to Brazil? And that was like the perfect segue because it's one of the things I wanted to ask Amanda about, which is you do have like massive followings outside of the United States. Like, what has been one of your most fun collabs internationally?
I went to Indonesia. And I met some of the top creators there. This girl Prilly, she's like incredible. She's an actress in Indonesia. And when I went to Jakarta, just everybody was super collaborative and just coming up with like all these different ideas. And especially with comedy, it's different a little bit in different cultures. So doing more of their style of comedy was fun for me to learn about. And that's kind of, I think, why, my Vine comedy translated global, because it's a lot of physical comedy, and which kind of crosses over to everybody a little bit, and a lot of expressions, which people like. So, yeah.
Is there a comedic hero like that you love?
I love Will Ferrell. Yeah.
It's hard not to.
He's so funny.
It's so good. There was like one of my big moments was, he's got the comedy group Funny or Die, and Funny or Die did a bit on our product and how like ridiculous it was that for 20 years we have like watched like you turn on television every night and you see an ad for like a product for men, and we're told even subliminally like it matters for men, and so they're like, well, let's put a bunch of our like outstanding female comedians against this who are going to poke fun at the fact like why don't we ever talk about this for women? And it like that was such a delight for me. So I'm a mega fan of his too. Mega
He's
fan.
so funny.
It's
Him
so
and
fun.
Kristen Wiig. Like,
Oh my
she's hilarious
gosh.
too.
No
All
doubt.
SNL.
Oh, crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so you and your sister went on a trip not that long ago. I was following in social to Abu Dhabi. Do you love to travel? What are some of your favorite places?
Well, it's hard. I like going to new places, but when I go there, I like doing the less touristy things. I know everybody says that, but I've seen so many churches. I'm like, all right, I get it. The cathedral, okay, it's beautiful, and you see the architecture all around you. But I just like really getting to make local friends and just, you know, try to find the cool vegan spots wherever I'm going. Sometimes it's hard.
That's great.
But it's kind of everywhere now, so it's easier than it was, because when I was 18, or no, 19, and it was when I was in college, I really wanted to go to Europe, and I've never been before, and my mom made it so we had to like pay for everything growing up. And for me, I was like, all right, I'm going. I don't care who's going with me. And I still do this to this day. Just did it to like a trip before COVID. I did it to a trip to the East Coast by myself, and my sister ended up joining me out there. And then when I went to Europe, I went to Pamplona, Spain. I went to Bastille Day in France. And I'm just like this girl just like wandering around with like a Europe for Dummies book. So I've always liked it.
Yeah, I do too. I was lucky when I was little, I moved a ton, and like it wasn't my choice, but we moved internationally, and like I'm so grateful for that experience. So naturally I'm from upstate New York, like practically the Canadian border, Rochester, New York. So my dad moved us to the Fiji Islands.
Oh,
because that's just so natural of a move.
You know
but
what?
It was so great. So great. And I was so little, and I went to Fiji in school. Yeah.
I mean, Fiji, that's awesome, by the way. Like my mom, when I lived in Connecticut, and my mom was like, all right, my parents divorced, and then she was like, all right, we're out of here. I was like, where are we going? She goes, we can either go to Italy or Florida. And I'm like, surfer boys, Florida. And then we ended up moving down to Florida, so that was my Fiji.
That's so great. I love it. That's so fun. Okay, so you said something I got to go back to. So you actually said your mom made you pay for everything. That's a big deal. And I mean, like how you were set up. So is that part of how, you know, you've been wired to just show up and do the hard work?
Yeah, honestly, I'm so happy she did that, because it made me I had my first job, I don't know, probably when I was like 10, making up different businesses and stuff. And I even drew newspapers and would go to my neighbors and be like, this is what's happening in the neighborhood, $10. And then I come home with all this money, and then my mom's like, okay, you got to give that back. I'm like, but it's so much. She goes, yes. And we like destroyed our neighbors. So
that is great.
Yeah, so it taught me to be resourceful. If I really wanted something, there's always ways to get it, and just figuring out how to get it. And then also saving. For some reason, I've always liked saving, and then figuring out where I want to put it, and just like being strategic. I never really like just spent to spend. I've always just kind of like had different goals, and I was like, all right, I didn't really fully know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to do something big and a lot. So I'm like, I know I'm going to travel. I know I'm going to just like, I'm not going to be in an office every day, just because I had an internship, and I got myself like a paid internship in college, and it was for solar panels. And I don't even know what I was doing there. I was just sitting at the computer every day, and I just like, you know, when you fight to keep your eyes open?
Yeah.
That
like
was
the
me.
Toothpicks go in. Yeah.
Yeah. Every day I'm like, I can't. I'll die. I can't do this.
It's like, that's a great lesson though. I mean, sometimes I think our first job experience is what motivates us to say, I am not doing that for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if you're out of school and you do that, look, you would pass like not that I don't already know this, but one of the things I ask people when I interview them is what their first job was. And actually your story about making like fake news, not really.
Fake news, unlike the media right now.
News from the neighborhood and going around and like.
Oh, I lost you. There you go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's highlighting because a lot of my content is comedic, but I also try to do real life situations, and I think that's kind of what makes it the most funny, and it like a lot of people kind of enjoy it is because it's highlighting, embarrassing situations. We can't hear either of you. I can hear you. Sound back. There we go. Mhm. Yeah, well, for me, it's highlighting embarrassing things and hopefully making it relatable so people are less embarrassed about different situations that women go through a lot, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical. So, my kind of like the content that I do is all over the spectrum, but oh, I think I froze. Uh oh. Am I still there? Okay. You're frozen and I'm frozen to me.